Hey guys, and welcome back to a new video. It's going to be a fun one. Basically, NK have posted on Facebook about 4.1 and the new update and how the balancing is going to work for it. Now, I knew about this for a long time. I didn't know what was going to be in it, but I knew it was going to be completely dreadful. And as you can probably tell from the title, yeah, our suspicions were confirmed. It is not very good. So I think this is going to be the first rant video I've ever made since my 3.8 rant against FC Oh My God, I believe. Let's just get into it. I'm basically just going to, in general, go over all the towers and what they did, like the main towers that are important. If you want to see the full update list, I'll have a link in the top line of the description if you want to go see it, if you haven't seen it already somehow. I'm assuming people that have watched this video have seen it already. If not, top line of the description. You can go read it in detail. Let's just get into it. So let's start off with probably one of the most important towers in the game, Dart Monkey. Of course they're gonna nerf it again, aren't they? Only for the third time in a row. Okay, so I'm just gonna read out all of the balances and we'll go through them. 2.0 enhanced eyesight, price increase from 120 to 160. 03 triple shot, even though it's a triple dart, price increase from 400 to 500. 4.0 juggernaut, price increase from 1750 to 1900. Super Monkey Fan Club, ability duration reduced from 15 seconds to 11 seconds. There is so many problems with this, I cannot even explain it. First one, it doesn't really matter. Enhanced eyesight, there's no real problem with that. I don't see a problem with it. Triple shot, you can't. First of all, you can't even get your upgrade names right. Shocker. Second of all, why are you nerfing triple dart again? This is in case you can't keep track. This is the third time they have nerfed this tower. You would think after the first and the second try they would have got it, but no, they're doing it again. And the best part is, even with all these nerfs, I still think Dart's viable. With the Bloon buffs, it's debatable, but I still think you could probably still use Dart, which is just a complete joke. Then you got Juggernaut going up to 1900. Again, I don't really see much of a difference here, but you've nerfed Juggernaut again, which was completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. But hey, this is the best part of the nerf on the Dart Monkey. The best part. Ability duration from decreased from 15 seconds to 11 seconds. I'm sorry, Fan Club has been reduced from 15 seconds to 11 seconds. Whose bright idea was this? It's just okay, so we need to nerf Fan Club in some way. So let's reduce the shoot time, but let's not use a logical number. Nah, that's too NK. Nah, let's just go for 11 seconds. Yeah, bro, that's good. It's good. Why not? There is no logic behind 11 seconds. 15 seconds, right? 3 fan clubs gives you perfectly infinite fan club, right? 11 seconds is just random. There's no logic to it at all. No logic. The ability comes back every 60 seconds. So that means, on my rough math, you would need 5 fan clubs for infinite. Because I think even on 4, once you've used the fan club 3 or 4 times, you wouldn't get the fan club back straight away. You'd have to buy another one to keep it going. It's just why 11 seconds? Why did you do this? Why? Why? Next time I'm going to cover is obviously Chippy. I have to cover it, don't I? And I'm going to cover it for one reason. I'm going to kind of bulk it into one. You'll see why. So, Chipper. 04 Supervac, price reduced from 13,000 to 10,000. The ability no longer affects Oh My God balloons in any way. 4.0 Super Wave Funnel, price reduced from 8,000 to 7,000. Also, no longer affects Oh My Gods. Alright, so you killed Dart Monkey. Fair enough, whatever. You've half killed Dart Monkey. We'll see how good it is when the update comes out. And now you want to just take a massive dildo and shove it in the chipper. Was that your goal? Because basically what you just did. Okay, so first of all, the price reductions were pretty much pointless because no one's going to use chipper anyway. But forget the price buffs for a second, right? Vac not being affected by his Oh My God, that's fine. I don't have an issue with that at all. The super wide funnel, however, I do have a massive issue with, because whereas with the VAC, the main thing you're stalling is BFBs and MUBs, so that's fine. Get rid of the Oh My God from it. It shouldn't even be there. However, the main function of a wide funnel, and you know, NK knows this, they know this full well. The only reason people ever use this upgrade is for the Oh my god. Like, NK support competitive, they know this is a thing. Like, if you want to nerf Chipper, find a different way. Don't do it like this. You've just killed the tower. In the bottom description, they say, like, what? They say, changing the ability and the super wide funnel so they no longer affect Zoma Gods should encourage players to explore other options. No, it should force them to explore other options. That's what you're saying. It shouldn't encourage, it should force. You're forcing people to use different towers. Don't agree with that. You're forcing them if they want to win. Like, and please, I've heard this from people. If you're gonna make this monthly, you just fucked up. You really have. Like, you need to have a constant meta. You can't keep changing it. It just doesn't work with a game like this. If you want competitive to survive, or just a game in general, you like with good players, you can't expect them to be okay with this constant meta change. When people are used to something for so fucking long, and you make this drastic of a change, and it's not your defense to this. NK's defense to this will probably be, oh, it's such a big change, you're just not used to it. We'll just let it slide. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna go, oh fuck, we've got this massive reaction from the community, but don't worry, it's just because it's a massive change and they're not used to it, so we're just gonna leave it. That's what they're gonna do. So if we want this to be changed, we have to fucking cry like a bitch. Otherwise, nothing's gonna change. This isn't only the fact that this is a big change. Because 3.4 had a big change, and you all know what happened to 3.4, didn't you? You eventually had to update farms again so it wasn't broken. If you had left a Dart and Chipper and didn't change them at all, and this update was the same, but just the Chipper and Dart were the same, fine. I would fucking thumbs up this update so hard. It's the best update you would have ever made. Like, so many people have told you, do not nerf the towers that are useful now. Don't nerf the towers that can still defend. Just buff the ones that can't. That's all you had to do. It's a very, very simple job. But then one person, and I can guarantee this, the one person that they listen to, SJB, I know for a fact that he said to NK, like, if you notice, he did like an hour-long boss arena. He did a couple of hour-long boss arena videos. And he went to NK and said, throughout like X percentage of my games, I think it was like 80% or whatever, a lot of his games, he basically complained that everyone was mostly everyone was using Dart, and then like a good chunk were using oh my god, and a good chunk were using the Chipper as well, and that's just triggered NK to go, right, okay, so we'll listen to SJB. Like, why? What makes you, like, no offense, but like, come on, what makes you think he knows anything? And then not only that, let's compound this with the Bloon updates. Let's move on to the Bloon updates. So, the Bloon updates, they've buffed rainbows, so they're cheaper but more spaced out, I believe. Like 20% spaced out, but costs quite a bit less. For Bloons wise, it's quite a bit less. And then they've increased the lead speeds of leads by 20%, which I assume that would make them maybe the speed of like, I think that'll make them between the speed of greens and yellows, or maybe the speed of greens. Maybe that's how fast they'll be now. Who knows? But yeah, like leads are, and this just like enforces in my mind, were they just trying to fuck Dart as much as possible? Because I think without those Bloon updates, Darts could still be viable. But now you're buffing Bloons to the point where even if Dart was viable, it's too expensive to make viable. Like, if you were going to use Dart to defend, like you used to do, you would be getting your factory like around 2021. At which point, which is the other thing I need to bring up now, 60% off of eco. 60% less damage on eco when you send Moab class. Like, what? I did the rough maths on this. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that if you send a Moab now, you lose like 56 eco. If you send a Zoma God, you lose 600. Yeah, like 600 eco. What? And then I'm assuming BFB, what, you do like 200 and something? I'm thinking like if you send a BFB, you're probably losing 100 something eco now. That is mental. Like, the only reason we never tried using BFBs or anything mid-game was because of the eco loss. Now it's pretty much worth sending a BFB. So if you were going, so now you've got the dilemma of Dart drains you enough defense-wise that you can't get a factory until 2021, and then we could just pop in a BFB and just drain them completely. Like, it's just okay. And then next point, where the fuck is the ace buff? What? You're decreasing the price of everything, but no, ace is fine. Fuck yeah, ace is fine. Because some people use it, it's fine. 16k for GZ, that is a joke. I push for this. I never really mentioned this to NK, but I still think it's a good idea now. Buff GZ, please, for the love of God. I can tell you from experience, I went in the files, ask Cadbury, I went in the files and I buffed the GZ to 1000 damage, the current damage of the GZ is 350. Oh my god, it's so good. It lasts like round 40 against FCs, oh my gods. Now, I wouldn't say buff it to 1000, that's too good, but maybe buff the damage to like 750? And you got a perfect tower, and then the price point of 16k is then viable. Why not? Like, it's a great idea, that, but I doubt NK's ever going to listen to it. So, that's pretty much all that I wanted to cover with this update. Again, top line of the description will be the update. There's a ton of other buffs. But here's my other problem, right? Apart from the odd exception with the wizard and the boomer, 90% of all these buffs are price buffs. I'm going to tell you why this is a major issue. Price buffs do nothing. And I'll tell you why. Money's never been an issue with this, right? When people send fast cooldowns on my gods, you very rarely run into the issue of not having enough money to defend it. It's just not being able to defend it is the problem. Like, no tower in this game is good enough to defend fast cooldowns on my gods. And with you taking away Chipper, and making the towers that defended early game even harder to defend with, you're fucking everyone in the arse. Like, what? What did you... What? I hope you weren't expecting a positive response to this. I really hope you weren't, because it's just not... It's never going to happen. If you're going... Here are my two problems in a nutshell. In conclusion, right? These are my two issues with this update. One, you've killed both towers that can defend fast cooldowns on my gods, when you did not need to. Second of all, bar the few exceptions, all your buffs are price buffs. That does not help anything. You need physical buffs to the tower, not price buffs. Prices have never been an issue. And until you realize this, your game is just going to die. I'm sorry. It's just, it will slowly die. The only reason it wasn't dying is because you added clans, and Dart and Chip is fun to use, and it's kind of defendable, and it has a lot of skill to it when it comes to arenas and stuff, because it's kind of who outfarms who rushes better, who rushes with the right things at the right time, blah, 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 blah. There was a lot of skill to it that people don't realise. They just think it's, oh, you could just sit there and rebuy Chipper stall. No, it's not that simple. There's a lot of variables that come into it, like, can you defend a singles on my god without stalling? Do you know how to jug spam? Etc, etc, etc. There's so many things to it that nobody fucking realises. In before the comments me talking way too fast, I don't care. If you can't understand me, then that's your bad. But yeah, I'm not gonna drag this off for too long. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say on the update. There's a few other things, and I will highlight now the only good thing about this update. Are you ready? Fuck it, you can see people's records in Ceramic Crucible and above now. Hallelujah. But yeah, that's the only thing good on this update. Other than that, it's all negatives. I'm just gonna throw this up, pretty much unedited, apart from like the cuts and the commentary. Here's what I want to happen. Leave a like on this video if you do not like up 4.1 and you agree. Maybe not even you don't agree. Maybe not necessarily agree with what I've said, but you agree that the update is horrible and it needs to change. Because obviously not everyone's going to completely agree with what I've said. Maybe some people that watch me like Ninja and Wizard being buffed and they think it's a good thing. But like I've said, it's just price buffs. Nothing's going to happen. Like, they're not going to be suddenly better because the prices are less. It'll help you mid-game, but then to get to late game, you need a tower like Ace to defend anything. So it's just like, you're back to square one. That's the problem. But, yeah, leave a like on this and share it and send it to NK. Do whatever. Like, they said email them if you want to give feedback. So if you want to give feedback, send them this video along with all your complaints. Like, say what you want to say, send them this video. That'd be great. But yeah, leave a like. I'll have maybe a how to win out tomorrow. I have two videos currently pre-recorded already. So yeah, those will be going up in the coming days. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later.